Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the iBug Mac Training Program, Week 10, Lesson 8 for Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. As always, I am your instructor, Chanel Allen, and we will begin our little mini-series on mail. As always, our iBug announcements. You may join us this Wednesday for the iBug Homeland Hangout Watch Party, or whatever that primetime show is called that we're watching. That begins at 7 p.m. on Friday night. We welcome you to attend iBug Night at the Virtual Movies, beginning at 7 p.m. with our pre-movie social, followed by the movie at 8, which I believe is something to do with Roofman 2025, rated R. And I know we also have, in a couple of weeks, very exciting, our iBug 15th anniversary celebration on May 23rd. That's coming up really quickly. So be prepared to join us for that from 2 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And if you want to enter a chance to win a $500 gift certificate to Apple, Google, Amazon, then it's not too late. Purchase your tickets. Details are available on the iBug Today website. $10 a ticket, $50 for 6 tickets, and just increases your chances of winning. With all of that, don't forget our website, ibugtoday.org. We were just talking about getting into some of our other calls once this class is over. You can even join them now, but next week, every Monday we will have iBug Buzz from 7 to 9 p.m. Central for all of your iOS questions. Then on whatever day, May 19th, we will have iBug Mac Buzz from 5 to 6 p.m. right before class. And speaking of class, let's get started. Tonight's lesson is a shorter lesson. We are going to go through how to add a mail account, specifically Gmail. I know most of you use Gmail, Yahoo, or iCloud. And then we will talk about how to make the Mail app a bit easier to navigate and less confusing. Then we'll spend some time customizing some other settings in Mail that you may or may not want to adjust. To begin, we will open the Mail app. You can use the Option key M if you have Option key commands enabled, or just like what I do, go to our dock with VOD.
Dock. Loopback. Open.
And MAI for Mail.
Mac Mail 18 of 36.
You probably could just press
Actions
MA, but now I'll press Return.
Loopback. With Mail. Activity window.
Okay,
Empty table.
I don't know why we have this activity
Messages.
window. I hit Escape to get out of it. Probably because it's something I accidentally brought up earlier. But we're not even interested in our messages right now. We want to go into the Mail menu, then find Add Accounts. I know there are several ways to add an email account, but this is the one that we will do. They ultimately end up kind of in the same place. The process for adding an account is straightforward. Some accounts like Gmail and Yahoo do require you to enter information online. And fortunately, you've learned all about web browsing in Safari, so those web navigation skills will serve you well. But for now, let's begin with our first step, VOM.
Menu bar Apple.
Right arrow to Mail.
Mail.
And down arrow a few times until we get to Add Accounts.
Mail menu. 9 items about Mail. Settings ellipsis command comma. Accounts ellipsis. Add account ellipsis.
Or Add Account, rather. Let's press Return. And as with all the other times I've practiced this demo, VoiceOver says nothing. You are actually in a text field to enter a username, and I'll demonstrate that here in a minute. Actually, we're not quite in a text field. If I VO right,
dialogue.
I hear dialogue. If I VO left,
dialogue.
And you might think, oh no, I can't get around. I can't do anything. Well, we've just found another thing that we may need to interact with, a dialogue. Normally, VoiceOver places the cursor right inside the dialogue, and it could just be some fluke on my computer. But if you ever just hear dialogue, try interacting.
In user at example.com dialog, edit text, blank.
And we can type in our email address. It used to be that Mail would have you pick from a list of accounts, and you could still do that. It'll give you that option. But for now, I'm going to type in my demo account email. Let's see. And
IBA.OM.
it was not, I was typing in all these characters. It wasn't saying anything. Finally, it did after I typed the period. If I wasn't sure what I put in, I could read it. Actually, it's not letting me read, so I can view right.
Close button.
And view left.
ibug.macandtalk@gmail.com. Content selected.
And then if we view right,
Close
we have
button.
close.
Sign into your mail account provider or link. Choose from a list.
Yep, you can choose that link, choose from a list if you want, but typing in the email address is a bit more streamlined than it used to be. Let's find our continue or OK button. If you happen to remember that it's the default button, we could just press the return key and that would activate it from anywhere in the dialog. If we were on the email address field, we could have just immediately pressed return and gone to the next screen. But if like me, you forget what button is default, or if there is even a default button in the dialog, there's no harm in pressing VO right to find the button that you want.
Continue button.
And then VO space. And continue wasn't even labeled as a default button. So let's just VO space.
Enter the password for the account ibug.macandtalk@gmail.com. Google requires completing authentication in your web browser.
All right. So this is requiring me to go on Safari. If I VO left,
Open browser default button.
I have the open browser default button, and I'll VO space.
Closing dialog web content ibug.macandtalk@gmail.com. Insertion at end of text. Email or phone. Email field with autofill menu. Main.
Okay, here I am taken to the Gmail website in Safari, or a version of it. When I fill in information here, this is a private browsing window, so none of the info is saved or tracked. You won't find this in your web history, for those of you who may have concerns about privacy. I'm going to VO right. As you heard, the email address was already entered in for me, so now I'll VO right.
Forgot email button.
And
Closing
VO right.
menu. Before using this app, you can review Mac OS's.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Link privacy and link period. Next button.
This is maybe better. I might have been better served by just pressing the tab key. Again, you never know. No approach is absolutely perfect or the absolute correct approach. You just kind of do what you feel like doing, whether it's VO right or tab. Sometimes, like I said, VO right arrow gives you more information. Sometimes tab is good. So just choose whatever and hope for the best, but they all work. VO space.
Loading. Enter your password. Secure text field with autofill menu. Website group busy main. To open the auto.
Remember, there are two different ways of using autofill. Command-Shift-A will fill it in directly. You still might need to press your fingerprint on the sensor or enter your Mac password if you have that on. Or you can press down arrow. If, like me, you're not really sure, okay, it's been a long time since I've used this account. What info does my Mac have stored? I'm going to down arrow.
ibug.macandtalk@gmail.com. Accounts google.com.
And at least that's the correct email address, so we'll hope that it enters the correct password. I'll press return once to put the password in.
Bullet. To open the auto.
Yeah. And then I'm going to press return again to get us to the next screen.
Loading. Redirecting. Sign in. Google accounts. Web content.
And let's VO right.
Sign in with Google. Heading level 1. Sign in to Mac OS. Link ibug.macandtalk@gmail.com selected. Heading level 2. Google will allow Mac OS to access this info about you. Chanel Allen. Name and pro iBug.
Okay.
Email address. Review Mac OS. Link privacy and link to understand how Mac to make changes at any link Google it period. Learn more about link sign period. Cancel. Continue button.
You know, the best thing to do here probably would have just been VO Command J. But I was honestly expecting that I would have a field for where Google would prompt me that I need to enter an authentication code. Sometimes it's done that in this demo. Sometimes it hasn't. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why. Let's just go ahead and continue with the process. VO space.
Loading and continue button.
All right. And now I'll VO left.
Cancel button. Period. Link share data safely. Learn how Google period. Link Google account.
Okay, let's go to the beginning with VO home
Sign in with Google.
and VO right.
Heading level 1. Mac OS wants access to your Google iBug. Heading level 2. Select which Mac OS
Okay.
button can access 3 items.
So there is a checkbox here that is for select all. As I said, it took me past macOS requiring a code. If you are required to authenticate or approve Google, approve access with your Mac, all that stuff, you can get a code in a couple of ways. One, it can be text to your phone, or two, if you have the Gmail or YouTube app and you're already signed into those on your iPhone, you will get a notification asking if this was you signing into Google. I don't know if you have to do the same thing for Yahoo. I don't have a Yahoo account, but you'll still be required to enter info on the website. And let's go ahead and choose this select all checkbox.
Mac OS button. Select all unchecked checkbox.
VO space.
Checked. Select all checkbox.
And I know there are a bunch of buttons or a bunch of other checkboxes on this site. If I'm just in a hurry and I want to get to the continue button, remember the web rotor? I will press VOU.
Headings menu. An item. 2.
And right arrow to buttons.
Links menu. Buttons menu. An
And
item.
type in CON, or well, actually, we don't even need to type in that many things because there's not that many on the page. If I down arrow,
Continue button.
great, I found the continue button. And now I'll press return
Continue button.
and VO space.
Mail. All inboxes 21 messages. 9 unread. Window. Cancel button.
And now I am back in the Gmail, or not the Gmail, I am back in the Mac Mail app. Okay, so adding an account, we went to the mail menu, we chose add accounts, or add account, we typed in our email address, then went into Safari, confirmed the email address, typed in the password, and then Google asked us, are you really sure? And are you sure these services? And it allowed us to check or uncheck the boxes. So we did that. We just chose select all. And then we're taken back to the main page. Now, if that's the other thing I forgot to mention, if Google wants to send you a code and you have text messages set up on your Mac, then you can enter the code. When your Mac, if you hear the message come in and then you're in Gmail on the website, the Mac, you'll hear it say, fill code from messages. All you need to do is press return and that code should be entered. If it doesn't work, try down arrow and then up arrow, basically until you hear fill selected code from messages. Now, if you don't have messages set up on your Mac, you'll just need to manually enter the code that you find, on your iPhone in the text message. I know there's a lot of explanation here for adding accounts, which should be a simple process. And honestly, I think whether you have to enter a code or not depends on Google's mood. No, because I did it several times practicing this demo where I did not have to enter a code. This morning, I had to enter a code. This evening, no code. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. Let's go ahead and now that we're back in the Mail app, we need to choose which services we want to use with this account. When you set up an internet account, or even if we just went to add account in Mail, we're not just setting it up as a Mail account. The Mac allows you to set the account up with other services if that is provided for in that account. iCloud has the most services like calendar, contacts, reminders, goodness knows what, notes. You will have variants of those services depending on the account that you're going to use. If you enable the boxes for these other services, though, there will be a different way of removing accounts, which we'll get into. But let's find our table. If I VO left,
Google image,
and VO right,
select the apps you want to use with this account.
All right, VO right.
Table, no selection.
And I found this table I need to interact with. I'm going to do that.
In table, row 1 of 4, mail, checkbox. Selected mail, checkbox.
And I will now VO down arrow.
Contacts, checkbox.
I don't really want to use contacts with this account. I have them synced up with iCloud. By the way, if for iCloud, unless you're setting up a brand new account, you hopefully will have signed in or gone into the Apple ID area of system settings to enable everything for your iCloud account. Let's VO down arrow.
Calendars, checkbox, unchecked.
I don't really want calendars either.
Notes, checkbox.
We'll leave notes. And that is it. Now I'm going to press the return key.
Closing dialog messages, table, row 2 of 20, unread, drugs.
All right. And now let's talk about decluttering the Mail view. So to begin, though, I'll show you what we have in the Mail app by default, or what I think you might have by default. If I VO home,
toolbar,
we have our toolbar. If I VO left,
22 messages, 10 unread.
All right.
All inboxes.
So pressing VO left twice from the toolbar told me the name of the thing that's currently open, the window title, which is all inboxes. How do we reveal the window title with VoiceOver? What's an alternate method? Well, go back and review your Finder lesson. But now let's VO right to our toolbar.
22 messages, toolbar.
And I think in lesson 2 or 3, I said the toolbar was kind of like candy, or, the candy aisle for sighted people. It's has these things that you can easily click on, point to, click on, but they're not that useful for us. So we can hide the toolbar. Instead of clicking, we'll press. Just keyboard commands instead of using the mouse and the toolbar. Let's VO right.
Favorites bar, group.
Our favorites bar can still be used whether it is shown or hidden. And it's kind of like bookmarks in Safari. In Safari, you have bookmarks. And then in bookmarks, you have the favorites, which is kind of like a category of bookmarks. And you can have up to 9 sites with the top of favorites that you can access with keyboard shortcuts. Command Option 1 through Command Option 9. In Mail, your favorites you can get to also with Command 1 through Command 9. The thing with favorites, though, you used to be able to customize them a lot more. But if you take certain things out of favorites, like all mailboxes or something, it will disappear out of the mailbox's sidebar. And we'll talk more about that. But you can move to one of your items in favorites, like I said, with Command 1 through Command 9. And you can move an item to a favorite mailbox with Command and the Control keys. You can rearrange the favorites bar and do things with it accessibly with VoiceOver, but we're not going to cover that. Let's view right.
Messages table.
And then we have our messages table. All of the things I'm about to show you can be found in the View menu. But to speed up things, save time, we're going to use keyboard shortcuts for now. Next week, we will go into the View menu a bit more. Let's press Command-Option-T to hide the toolbar.
Hide toolbar.
Let's press Command-Option-Shift-H to hide the favorites.
Hide favorites bar.
And these are listed, by the way, in the brief section at the end of the notes that I'll give you with the keyboard commands. So I'm sending you tonight some notes, and then there are very few keyboard commands listed after the notes. But the other thing I recommend doing is showing your mailbox's sidebar. The Mac uses mailboxes on Windows. They're called folders. Same thing. Gmail, you hear labels. It's kind of different, but it all refers to the same thing. Areas that store messages. And if you like to organize your messages into different folders or mailboxes, you will want to see the mailbox's sidebar. If you, sometimes like me, want to make sure that something did send, you might go to Sent Items. Or if you want to find out if something ended up in junk or trash, you would go to those mailboxes. If you think, though, you're only going to spend time in the inbox, then don't worry about showing the mailbox's sidebar. I think, though, it can be a really good navigational landmark, in addition to having its uses for being able to sort through mail. So let's show that, and we show the mailbox's sidebar with Command-Control-S.
Show sidebar.
Now let's take a look at our mail view again. View Home.
Mailboxes table. Row 2 of 113. All inbox.
So we start with our mailboxes view table instead of our toolbar, and I'll view right.
Vertical splitter.
Then we have our vertical splitter, then I will view right.
Messages table. Row 2 of.
And then our messages table. And if we view right.
Vertical splitter collapsed on right.
I forgot to show what happens when the vertical splitter is not collapsed. So pretend you're not hearing this point.
In set 66 out of vertical.
One thing I always forget to change before the presentation. Okay, so there you have the vertical splitter, and then
No message selected.
no message selected. You'll normally have a message to the right of the vertical splitter. So, as I said, we do view home.
Mailboxes.
We have mailboxes, view right.
Vertical splitter. Messages table. Row 2 of 20. Unread. Drugs. Vertical splitter. No message selected.
And then the message preview pane. It is useful to collapse the message preview pane. If it is not collapsed, as you are moving through messages, they will automatically be marked as read. I find that annoying. I don't want a message to be marked as read until I actually press return on it to read it. So I'm going to show you how to collapse this
Vertical
mail message preview. And to do that, we need to go into our vertical splitter. Interact with the splitter.
in vertical splitter.
Then it's counterintuitive, but you're going to take the vertical splitter to 100%. And we increase the value to 100% by pressing VO right arrow.
66%, 71%, 76%, 100%.
Then we stop interacting.
Out of vertical splitter.
So now
Vertical
you just have the vertical splitter. If you VO left,
messages.
you have the messages, and then you could go left further. Some people prefer to use VOJ to move from the mailboxes to the messages lists and vice versa. And that's just fine, whatever you want to do. If you want to read a mail message, we'll go into this next week. You'll basically find the message, press the return key to open it, and then Command W to close the window or close the message when you're done reading it. There is one other thing that might be driving you crazy, even if you've done all this stuff. Some people have this thing called mail categories enabled, and there is no keyboard shortcut for mail categories. But basically, they try to categorize your mail messages. And so instead of everything being in the inbox per se, the inbox is divided into, I think, primary. I tried to create an acronym and memorize it, but you have several categories. Primary, transactions, updates, and promotions, or something to do with that. And so how do you turn off these categories? There is no keyboard shortcut to do this. We need to go into the View menu.
Menu bar Apple.
And VI for View.
View.
Down arrow.
View. Menu. 28 items show tab bar.
Okay, 28 items in the View menu. I'll tell you a little trick for getting to show mail categories. If you do type AB.
About categories ellipsis.
For about categories, and then you up arrow twice.
Show priority messages. Show mail categories.
And if yours says check mark or checked, show mail categories, you will want to press return so that it just says show mail categories. So if it has a check mark, you'll want to press return to turn it off and clear the check mark. I tried to show mail categories earlier this morning just to kind of refresh myself about what they were, but mail couldn't seem to, figure it out. So I stopped that process. Okay, that is all we are going to do actually in the Mail app. We've customized the layout so that you only have the mailboxes sidebar, the messages list, and then the vertical splitter in between them. Let's now go into Mail settings. And I know you know how to go into settings.
Signatures, window, toolbar.
Okay, it ended on the last category I was visiting. Let's go into our toolbar with VOJ.
In signatures, table.
No, VOJ.
Vertical splitter. Names, empty. In toolbar. 10 items.
Okay, was take. Normally all these categories, it's straightforward. VOJ once into the toolbar. But let's VO left.
Composing, viewing, but fonts and call junk mail, but accounts, button, general, but general.
And we'll begin with general. That is the first option. VO space, as always, to activate it.
General selected.
I'm just going to kind of give a preliminary that a lot of these settings, there's only one setting, and that's in composing, that really affects VoiceOver. A lot of these are your personal use. Some of these in the viewing area will be kind of irrelevant because we do things with VoiceOver in a little bit of a different way. But we're going to go through a few of these categories anyway. And you can customize mail based on how you might want mail or your accounts to function. Let's uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
VO right.
Default email reader. Mail app. Default email reader. Pop-up button.
Some people like to use Outlook or other apps. I can't think of any, but other apps for opening and reading and receiving messages on their Macs.
Check for new messages. Automatically. Check for new messages. Pop-up button.
I don't remember what the default time is, but if you think your Mac is too slow about checking for messages, you can choose a different time. As always, we can enter a pop-up button with down arrow, space, VO space.
Menu, 7 items check mark automatically, every minute, every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, every hour, Manually.
I'll hit escape because I don't want to change what I've selected.
Closing menu.
If you do want to check for mail manually, oh, I forgot to put that in the keyboard shortcuts. All right, I'll add that to my notes. If you want to check for mail manually, well, you're impatient with mail. You're not getting a message quick enough. You're expecting a code or something. You can press Command-Shift-N. Command-Shift-N checks for all new mail messages. But what you chose in the pop-up button will specify, how many, what interval does the Mac check for mail. All right, let's VO right.
New messages sound. Breeze, new messages sound, pop-up button.
And we have different sounds for receiving new messages. I'll demonstrate a couple. I can go into this pop-up menu.
Menu, 16 items, check mark Breeze.
And I can up arrow or down arrow, up arrow.
Boop. New messages sound.
We have our new messages sound if I press return.
New messages sound.
All right. If we go into this menu again.
Menu, boop, Breeze, bubble, crystal, crystal.
And that's another
Menu,
sound. But you get the idea. You can go into the pop-up menu, press return on a sound, and hear it played. I'm going to go back to the one I had.
Bubble, Breeze.
And press return.
Breeze.
I change it up every now. Well, I change it up when I do this demo, but I'm not changing it this time. All right. Let's VO right.
Play sounds for other mail actions. Checked. Checkbox.
The most
Select to play sounds when messages are sent, no new messages are received, or an error occurs receiving messages.
Okay, I need to work on not cutting voiceover off. The most notable sound that we have is when the swoosh, when mail sends a message.
Unread count. Inbox only, unread count, pop-up button.
So which mailboxes does mail display the number of unread items for? And this unread count is shown, like I said, in the window title when we were looking. I'm not sure if it's also shown in the dock icon. If you do your option key and the letter U, that will also tell you the number of unread messages. And so what is that going to report? The unread messages in
Menu, 3 items, check mark inbox only.
just your inbox, or in all inboxes rather.
All mailboxes.
Every single unread message in all of your mailboxes.
Unread messages in primary.
Or this primary category. So I just leave it at what it's set.
Closing menu.
VO right.
New message notifications. Inbox only. New message notifications. Pop-up button. Menu. 5 items. Check mark inbox only. Primary inbox. VIPs. Contacts. All mailboxes.
And if
Closing.
you want to turn off mail notifications completely, you have 2 options. 1, just close mail when you're not using it. Or 2, go into System Settings, Notifications, and find the Mail app.
Downloads folder. Downloads folder. Pop-up button.
So Mail automatically downloads certain types of attachments just automatically, I guess for easier viewing, like if they're images or PDFs. But you can also choose a folder for attachments. I don't know, it's a little bit complicated.
Remove unedited downloads. After message is deleted, remove unedited downloads. Pop-up button.
I don't mess with these.
Follow-up suggestions. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Okay, follow-up suggestions are not that helpful for me. They basically appear as showing the message that you sent to someone will randomly appear in your inbox a few days after you sent it if that message has not received a response. And it can be a bit disorienting because I think, oh no, am I in my sent mail or did I move something from sent into my inbox or whatever? No, it's just mail saying, hey, this message that you sent, it did not receive a reply. And like I said, I find that more confusing, so I have turned off follow-up messages.
Mail will remind you about messages that haven't received responses.
But again, all these things are simple mail behaviors. It's not necessarily voiceover related. Unless maybe, I don't know, people know automatically by a certain color or something. It's not a message that I don't know.
Archive or delete muted messages. Unchecked. Checkbox. Automatically try sending later if outgoing server is unavailable. Checked. Checkbox. Prefer opening messages in split view when in full screen. Unchecked. Checkbox. When searching all mailboxes, include results from.
Okay, when searching all mailboxes, if you like to try to find messages that you've gotten, you can search, and what is that search going to include?
Trash. Checked. Checkbox.
So the mail can automatically search for messages in trash.
Junk. Checked. Checkbox. Encrypted messages. Checked. Checkbox. Help button. Help but.
Okay, that is the end of general. Let's get back into our toolbar, VOJ.
In toolbar. 10 items. General. Selected.
And VO right.
Accounts. Button.
Let's
Actions
take
available.
A look. Oh, okay. I keep cutting off voiceover. Anytime we're on one of these toolbar items, it's going to say actions available. And when I was doing this demo earlier, I thought I'd try my voiceover actions menu. Remember what that is? Well, I did voiceover actions, and I had things like
Actions menu for move previous. Move next. Remove from toolbar. Press.
So I don't know if
Accounts.
we can actually rearrange the items in this toolbar, but we're going to constantly hear actions available. That's just how it goes. Let's VO right.
Junk mail. Accounts. Button.
Okay, and VO
Actions
space on accounts.
Accounts selected.
And notice, it said accounts button. Then when we did VO space, accounts selected button. Let's uninteract.
Out of toolbar. Internet accounts. Table. Row 1 of 8. Bits exchange. Selected.
And these are all accounts that I have added to my Mac. They're not all receiving messages, but they have been added to my Mac. And let's find the one that we just added.
Chanel IMAP. Herbie Chanel IMAP. ibug.macantalk@gmail.com IMAP.
Notice this one shows a full email address. I have renamed or changed the description for the other accounts to make them easier for VoiceOver to say and just easier to process as I am navigating up and down the mailboxes list. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's VO right.
Account information. Selected. Tab 1 of 3.
And we are going to primarily stay in account information.
Mailbox behaviors. Tab 2 of 3.
Mailbox behaviors allows you to determine whether certain mailboxes like drafts, sent mail, trash are stored locally or online. I never messed with that.
Server settings. Tab 3 of 3.
And if you have a less well-known email account, first of all, you won't be going to a website to put in that information. And so you might have, when you add the account, a username field, then you can tab and get to the password. But you might also need to enter server settings. And hopefully you will have already entered those when you set up the account. But you can also come here to the server settings tab and add or modify those things like the port numbers and incoming and outgoing addresses, all that stuff. By VO right.
Enable this account. Checked. Checkbox.
Enable this account. If I uncheck this box, the account will still be on my Mac, although I will no longer have the mailboxes. I'll no longer see the mailboxes in my mailboxes list, and the account won't be receiving messages.
Status. Online.
It tells me whether the account is online.
Available in description. ibug.macantalk@gmail.com. Content selected. Description. Edit text.
And I can just immediately type and it will write over what's here.
Selection EMO.
So demo.
Demo.
And if I VO right.
Email address. Chanel Allen ibug.macantalk@gmail.com greater than email address. Pop-up button.
You may want to change the name associated with an account. For instance, I share one with Herbie, and so I don't want it to say Herbie Allen, CHM, blah, blah, blah. When I'm sending a message, I want it to say Chanel. And so I fix that here by
Chanel Allen email address.
Email address button. Most of you won't ever really need to worry about that, though.
Chanel Allen download attachments.
And you can choose how individual accounts handle attachments.
Recent download attachments. Pop-up button. Menu. 3 items. Check mark recent. None. All. Closing menu. Send large attachments with mail drop. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Mail drop is a feature. It uses iCloud Drive, and it basically sends a link to your attachment if the file size is over 20 MB. I've never had occasion to use it, but sometimes I have been prompted, oh, do you want to use mail drop? And then I realize, oh, this file is too big, so I'll send a Dropbox link. But you can use it for IMAP and iCloud accounts.
New account button.
Then we have new account, which would basically take us through the same process we were in earlier.
Remove account button.
And finally, remove account. I'm going to get an error when I try to remove this account. Let's hit VO space.
In alert, dial the Google account ibug.macandtalk@gmail.com is shared by other applications on this Mac. You can remove this account and internet accounts.
Remember, because I chose to allow it to be used with notes. If I had made sure all those boxes were unchecked, we could have probably just removed the account here and been done. But if I chose calendars or contacts or any other thing besides mail, we are required to go to system settings to remove, that account. Let's find the button to do that.
Internet accounts default button.
And it's the default button. And again, you may or may not remember, but I found it with VO left. I'll press VO space. This is going to open system settings. It's going to open specifically the internet accounts category. And it is going to automatically select the account we wish to remove. In this case, the iBug Macintalk or demo account. So let's press VO space.
Remove account system settings. Now in demo window. Sidebar table. No selection.
Remember our lesson 3 on system settings or lesson 2 even. And I told you, don't interact in the sidebar. Well, that was because we had selected software updates directly from the shortcut menu. And in the same way, since the account has automatically been selected for us, we just need to get ourselves to the scroll area. We can do VOJ. Honestly, there's so many places to jump into in system settings. I prefer to do VO end.
Demo scroll area.
Interact in the scroll area.
In demo scroll area. 13 items Chanel Allen.
And we're looking for the remove account button near the end of this dialog.
Chanel Allen details button. ibug.macandtalk@gmail.com. Mail. Mail on. Contacts. Contacts on. Switch.
Oh, I thought I'd turn that off. Oh well.
Calendars. Calendars off. Notes. Notes on. Delete account button.
Or delete account. I honestly forget whether it's delete, remove. The notes have it correct. So let's VO space on delete.
In dialog cancel. Are you sure you want to delete the account ibug.macandtalk@gmail.com? Deleting the.
And let's VO right.
OK button.
And VO space.
Internet accounts scroll area group. Closing dialog internet accounts scroll area group.
So if you do VO F1.
System settings.
You know that you are in system settings, not in mail. We are not done with mail yet. We want to quit system settings with Command Q.
Mail, accounts, window, remove account button.
And we're done in accounts. Let's get back to our toolbar with VOJ.
In toolbar. 10 items, accounts, selected button.
And let's VO right arrow.
Junk mail button.
Okay.
Actions available.
Let's VO space.
Junk mail selected.
And I do not use junk mail. I rely on Gmail's basic spam filtering. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it works, actually. this junk mail might be more applicable for like an iCloud account, or if you only use one device to check your email and you want that device to handle all the junk mail filtering, kind of like rules, which we'll talk about later. Let's uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
And I'm not going to turn the filter on, but I'll just show you the options that you have.
Junk mail behaviors. Selected. Tab 1. Blocked. Tab 2 of 2.
Blocked simply shows a list of email addresses that have been blocked. We'll just focus on junk mail behaviors. VO right.
Enable junk mail filtering. Unchecked. Checkbox. When junk mail arrives, mark as junk mail, but leave it in my inbox. Dimmed selected. Move it to the junk mailbox. Dimmed. Perform custom actions. Click Advanced to configure. Dimmed. Radio button.
And so even from inside an app, you have radio buttons. We found them in Safari, and you also sometimes have them inside of an app.
The following types of messages are exempt from junk mail filtering. Sender of messages in my contacts. Dimmed checked. Checkbox. Sender of messages in my previous recipients. Dimmed checked. Checkbox. Messages addressed using my full name. Dimmed checked. Checkbox. Trust junk mail headers and messages. Dimmed checked. Checkbox. Filter junk mail before applying my rules. Dimmed unchecked. Checkbox. Reset. Dimmed. Advanced.
Okay.
Dimmed help button.
And that's the very basic, letting you hear what VoiceOver says about junk mail. Of course, all those were dimmed because we did not check the box to enable the filter. Let's VOJ.
In toolbar. 10 items. Junk mail.
And VO right.
Fonts and colors, but
Okay, you can go in here if you want to change the font that you're using to compose messages, a default message font, or the font size and things in the message list, and colors and some other things we're going to skip over.
viewing button.
Okay.
Actions available.
Viewing, VO space.
Viewing selected.
Most of this, or some of this rather, is not going to be as relevant to us, but we'll go through it. Let's uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
VO right.
List preview. 5 lines. List preview. Pop-up button.
When we collapsed the message view pane, the list preview became irrelevant. You will not have a preview. Next week, I'll show you how you can still hear a bit of the message, but it's not using that preview.
Move discarded messages into trash. Move discarded messages into pop-up button. Automatically view next message after discarding or archiving a message. Checked. Checkbox.
And I know one of you found adjusting that setting to be helpful.
Show message headers. Default show message headers. Pop-up button. Display unread messages with bold font. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Font doesn't really matter to us.
Summarize message previews. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Okay, summarize message previews. This is one of those AI features. AI can summarize the contents of text messages and email. I used to have it on, but it was more annoying than helpful. Interesting ways, sometimes it could summarize a thread, but not always right on the mark. You can try it, but yep, if you want it off, then you can come into Mail and then Viewing to turn it off.
Use smart addresses. Unchecked. Checkbox. Turn this off to always display names and addresses. Use dark backgrounds for messages. Checked. Checkbox. View conversations. Highlight messages with color when not grouped. Unchecked. Checkbox. Dodger Blue 3. Use the View menu to group messages by conversation. Include related messages. Unchecked. Show most recent message at the top. Unchecked. Checkbox.
And so when you're reading mail on the Mac, I teach you how to navigate threads using the arrow keys, and so some of these don't really matter.
Mark as read behavior. All messages. Mark as read behavior. Pop-up button. All messages will be marked as read when entering a conversation. Help button. Help button.
All right, let's get back into our toolbar. VOJ.
In toolbar. 10 items.
VO right.
Composing button.
VO space.
Composing.
Uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
VO right.
Composing. Message format. Rich text. Message format. Pop-up button. Menu. 2 items. Check mark rich text. Plain text.
By default, the
Close-
Mail app only allows composing in rich or plain text. You can compose in HTML and Outlook, but I'm still able to send you emails and stuff with headings and links, so I don't know fully how that works.
Check spelling. As I type, check spelling, pop-up button.
You can choose how your Mac handles spelling. So the default behavior is as I type,
Menu, 3 items, check mark as I type. When I click send.
but sometimes you might forget to spell check. And this is also a feature in Outlook, I believe, where as soon as you click send, spell check will run. The disadvantage with that is it often checks the previous recipients or whatever, the person who wrote to you. It'll check their message as well. And sometimes you don't really want to check anyone else's message. You just want to check yours. You don't care if they have misspelled anything or whatever. But if you forget to do spell check and then get embarrassed later, it might be a good option.
Never.
Or never. So spell check, you
Should
would
never.
use
When
that.
I click
So
send. Closing menu. As I type,
I just leave it at as I type.
automatically, unchecked, checked CC, pop myself, add link previews, unchecked.
Okay, probably the most important setting that affects VoiceOver that you should turn off is add link previews. By default, it is checked. If you like to send links to someone in an email, and we've talked about how to send a link and copy and paste, you will not want this feature checked. When you are if you put in a link in an email and this feature is checked, it basically tries to provide a preview of the website content. It'll show the website title and maybe a few other things. Well, you don't really need that when you're composing the message, but it gets in your way. You're not able to edit the rest of the message, move around the message. It affects when Herbie and I in the past tried to send Dropbox links, and we always change the 0 at the end to a 1 so that people can download files directly. And we were not able to change the links when this option was checked. So always uncheck add link preview. You will find that in the Compose category of mail settings.
My add link previews, unchecked, checkbox. Addressing. When sending to a group, show all member addresses, unchecked, checkbox.
And this doesn't really matter anymore. It used to, but if you really want to keep people anonymous from one another, put all their addresses in the BCC field.
Mark addresses not ending with a domain at example.com. Send new messages from Ellen less than Janelle.
You can choose the account for sending new mail messages, or you can allow mail to choose the best account. If I go into this menu,
8 items,
and then I up arrow,
automatically select best account.
automatically select best account.
Closing.
Well, I don't trust my Mac, and I primarily send messages from my personal account. But you can choose, and most of you may only have one account, so this might not be relevant.
Sending. Undo send delay.
Okay, undo send delay. If you send a message and then you realize, oops, I don't think I put the attachment in, or oops, maybe I should have said that differently, or oops, did I spell check that? Well, you can undo the send, but there's only a certain amount of time that you have to undo that send. You can undo a send with Command Z. Sometimes, though, that will also undo if you recently deleted a message. So it's not always interpreted as undo send, but that is our keyboard shortcut. Here, though, we can customize the delay. How many seconds do you have to press Command Z?
20 seconds. Undo send delay. Pop-up button.
And here are our options.
Menu. 4 items. Check mark 20 seconds. 30 seconds. Off. 10 seconds.
Some people like it off. Some people like it only at 10 seconds. It's up to you. You may not hear the swoosh sound right away the longer that your delay is set. So Command Z will undo send. I know you're probably wondering, what's the command to send a message? Well, I've got to give you a reason to come back, so you'll just have to wait till next week. But I'm sure you know where you could find it. If next week, if you can even tell me where you can find that shortcut, that would be ideal. But just know that you can find it somewhere, and we will talk about it next week. All right. Let's VO right.
Responding. Use the same message format as the original message and respond using rich or plain text. Quote the text of the original message. Checked.
Again, this is all your personal preference.
Increase quote level. Unchecked. When quoting text and replies or forwards, include all of the original message text. Selected. Rate include selected text, if any. Otherwise include all text. Radio button. Help button. Help.
There we go. Let's VOJ.
And toolbar. 10 items. Composing. Select.
VO right.
Signatures. Button.
And VO
Actions
space on signatures.
Signatures selected.
And let's talk about how you add a signature. It's easy, but you've got to make sure you're in the right place.
Out of toolbar. Signatures. Table. Row 1 of 8. All signatures selected.
Do not add a signature to all signatures. For some reason, when you do that, they're not always available to the accounts where you want to use them. Instead, pick the account where you want your signature to be. If some of you only have one email account, then that's great. You only have to do this one time, or however many signatures you have. Then you would also, though, need to re-add those signatures if you wanted to use them in a different account. So let's down arrow.
iCloud.
I don't want to use iCloud.
Chanel.
Okay, I want to add a signature to my Chanel email account. Let's figure out how to do that. VO right.
Vertical splitter. Names empty. Table.
And that table is empty because I don't have any signatures there. I'll VO right.
Vertical splitter. Text. Add button.
And I can VO space on the add button.
Signature number 1. Content selected. Edit text.
This is the text field where you enter a name for the signature. This is not where you actually type or paste the signature text. So if you're fine with it just being called signature number 1, that's great. I'm just going to put in regards.
EARDDRRDS. Regards.
And I typed over the name. But again, you don't have to put anything there. It'll be just marked as signature number 1. But if you want to actually edit the text, put in text for your signature, you want to get out of the names table. Let's uninteract to do that.
Out of names table.
And VO right twice.
Vertical splitter. Chanel Allen Janellum.Allen@gmail.com. Edit text.
And you can interact.
Chanel Allen.
And here I would either select all, which I'm going to do.
Select all.
And delete.
Chanel Allen.
Or you could just modify the text that's here. It's like any other text field. Or you could copy something from TextEdit or Word or whatever, select it, copy it, and paste it. If you have special formatting for a signature, I'm not sure exactly how signatures are supposed to look. I would think maybe they should be centered or whatever, but I don't know. I'm just going to type in
regards, comma, new line.
Chanel.
C-A-L-E.
And that's my simple signature. And honestly, I can just as easily write that at the bottom of an email. But whatever, this is a signature. You might want to put your whatever closing, and then your name and job title or whatever, followed by your contact info. Whatever you want to do is fine. But let's go ahead and uninteract.
Out of regards, Chanel. Edit.
And then we VO right.
Add button. Remove button. Always match my default message font. Checked. Checkbox.
If you end up copying in the signature text from Word or Pages or another program, you'll probably want to uncheck the box so that it uses the font of whatever, program you use to create the signature.
Times New Roman 12.
And that's my font for composing messages.
Choose signature. None. Choose signature. Pop-up button.
I set it at none. If you go into this
Menu. 3 items. Check mark none. At random. In sequential order.
So I don't know what those, I guess if you have a lot of signatures, it could choose from random or whatever.
Closing menu. Place signature above quoted text. Checked. Checkbox. Help button. Help button.
Okay, that's signatures. The main thing is when you are in the signatures, the table, choose the specific account where you want the signature
toolbar.
to be.
10 items. Signatures. Selected. Button. Rules. Button.
Okay.
Actions available.
Then we have this thing called rules. Rules are a way of categorizing or taking action on email messages. Rules only work, though, they only function on the computer on which they are created. There might be a better way to say that, but rules are local. So you create some rules. Maybe you want certain messages from a specific sender or a specific group to go into a particular mailbox. Well, that rule will only work provided your Mac is on, and it will only be effective on the Mac that you set it up on. If you check email messages on multiple devices, like an iPhone, a Mac, a Windows computer, an Android, whatever, some combination of those devices, the rules on your Mac are not going to help when you go to look at mail messages on those other devices. Because of that, I use something called filters. Gmail has them. I know the Gmail site can be a bit tricky. It is doable. I haven't used filters in a long time, but filters are the same as rules, except they take effect when your messages are on the server. Your mail is automatically sorted, dealt with, replied to, whatever, moved, before it ever reaches your computer. That's the difference. Rules are local, filters are server-side, and because of that, I don't teach rules. I do know someone who does teach people how to set up rules. His Mac, or one of his Macs, is always on. And I can talk more about that. I'm sure we can go into that in a Mac and Talk or something, but I do not use rules.
Extensions button.
I've never found an extension to use for mail. They expand the functionality in some way, but I've never really quite used one.
Privacy button.
And then finally we have privacy.
Privacy select.
Privacy is like what we have in Safari. It's just a couple simple boxes to check. Let's uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
And via right.
Mail privacy protection. Protect mail activity. Checked. Checkbox. Text mail privacy protection works by hiding your IP address and loading remote content privately in the background, even when you don't open the message. This makes it harder for senders to follow your mail activity. Link learn more.
All right.
Hide IP address. Dimmed checked. Check block all remote content. Dimmed unchecked. Help
and
button.
So once the first thing is
checked. Text protect mail activity.
Protect
checked.
mail activity, then that controls the other settings. That is it for mail settings. So we
now
can
Safari. Loop back.
Let's turn off my sound, and we can now take Actually, before we take questions, Herbie, do you want to say anything about the review session this week? or the mini lesson or anything?
Well, this Thursday it's a review session on something, and so if you come to it, we'll ask you something about something.
Safari Part 2.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yep.
And also, just a reminder, if there's any sites that you want any tips on how to navigate, let me know by Thursday morning. And really, kind of, guys, it would have been better to have those sooner, but
I thought we were doing apps, though.
we are. And so my first thing is definitely going to be the mini lesson on how to download apps from both Safari and the Mac App Store. And then depending on how long the mini lesson goes, we'll decide if we tackle Safari Part 2 that week or next week. So that's
All
what
right.
I've got.
Come at 6:30 and prepare to find out. All right. Do we have any questions about this part of the mail lesson? Or this mail lesson?
Bhuvan,
Yes, go ahead, Bhuvan.
there was this thing called vertical splitter collapsed, right? So what do you mean by that?
A what?
The vertical splitter in the main window. It was
Yeah.
collapsed, right? It was telling like that. What do you mean by that?
So the one that the vertical splitter to the right of the messages list is collapsed. And when it's collapsed, your message viewer pane is hidden.
Okay. And there are two vertical splitters. If I collapse the both, I have observed that the mailbox table also would be hidden.
Yeah, don't collapse the first one, only collapse the second one.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
This is Donald.
Yeah, go ahead, Donald.
I was wondering about the hiding the preview on the link for the link. You were talking about it earlier. What do I do again to do that?
All right, so you'll go into your mail settings. You'll go into your mail app. You'll go into your mail settings with Command, comma. You'll choose Composing in the toolbar. And then it's the option called Add Preview Link. Oh, goodness, let me
Add
find
Preview
it
Link.
again. Yeah.
Zoom.us has new
Okay.
window.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yeah. Or Add Link Previews. There we go. Add Link
Oh,
Previews.
okay. Yeah, link previews. Okay.
Zoom.us.
Yep.
This is Bhuvan again.
Uh-huh.
Could you repeat the command which you told to check refresh the messages?
Yeah, Command Shift N.
Command Shift N. Okay.
Yep.
As a new folder.
Yes.
Finder is. Okay.
Yeah, I know. In Finder, it's a new folder, but in Mail, it checks for new messages.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Good questions.
Audio
This
now
is
on.
Donald. It
Yeah, go
seems
ahead.
like it's going to take me
Window.
10 years to learn the Mac.
No. You'll get there slowly but surely.
Yeah, but it seems so.
The best thing you can do is to start using the stuff, and it'll, become more familiar to you as you keep using it.
All right.
Yep. You'll get there. All right.
Donald, just take it one step at a time. That's what I did, and I worked diligently.
I know, but it
on
seems
step.
like I'm not in heaven. It seems like I'm in Mac hell.
Okay.
But I'll get there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, and like Mike said, take it step by step, as we talked about in the first class. Don't try to do everything in a day, and find something that you really want to do on the Mac.
I started with Mail, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I knew all that stuff would be kind of familiar for you, but
Oh, not a lot of this stuff. No, a lot of this stuff was good. The next lesson might be a little old for me, but not this stuff.
yeah. Okay.
But my point is that was the first thing that I wanted to do on the Mac over Windows. Was I decided I was going to do my Mail, And in doing so, I learned a lot of the voiceover stuff that carries over into other things. So, Donald, just pick something and stay with it for a while until you're comfortable, and then move on.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mail does it does go into so many other things that they all build on each other, and yep. I know, and Mail is one of the best features of the Mac, in my opinion. It's so much easier than doing it on Windows.
What I like about Mail is it's all included. Like Apple and Windows, you have to have a separate email for like Outlook.
Right.
Mac, everything's all in one. Everything's just right there.
Yep, indeed. Yeah.
I had a problem with mail.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, it won't refresh as properly as the web mail. Like example, some mails would be shown and some won't be shown in the Apple's mail. How can I do that? And now also I checked by pressing Command Shift N.
You what?
I checked by pressing Command Shift N also now, but the message which is showing in the web mail, the website mail, means example, let's take in Safari, it's not showing in the Mac mail app.
Huh. That's so do you have filtering on in Mac Mail for some reason, or the categories?
No, and I'm not aware which category should I keep it in.
Yeah, so I would turn off the show mail categories.
Okay.
Make sure that's off, and also make sure filtering is off in the view menu. Also, in mail settings,
Command L will short toggle your filter on and off.
Yeah, Command L. Also in mail settings, like we did under the general category, we chose how often mail check for messages. So every minute or automatically, I would choose.
Yeah, yes.
Are you using it as like you're using Gmail, right? Or are you using a different one?
No, I'm using Gmail.
Yeah, so as long as, and Gmail should automatically be set up as IMAP, so that should, because that's how Gmail comes set up on when you put it on your Mac. So, yeah, I don't know.
Start with those things and then...
Start with those things, yeah.
There also... Gmail does have some... if you've done anything with Gmail settings, it is... if you've done anything with those, then it'll be a good idea to review what you've done if you're still having problems. But start with those things first.
Yeah, sure. I'll pick it out.
All right.
Oh, I have a question. It's Donald.
Uh-huh.
I have trouble finding, how do I put this? I have trouble finding out people if certain people to talk to, like if I need help with something, do I go to the iBug, do I go to that email address, ibugtoday@gmail.com? Or do I do the Mac training? Is that the Mac training email address, ibugtoday@ibug.mac? I have trouble finding my email addresses on my Mac, my folders, and all my... I know where the main inbox is. But other than that, I have trouble finding...
We're going to talk about that next week. But remember, you would... ibugtoday@gmail.com will reach Sandhya and Michael. That does not come to me. If you have questions, you can, write to our class list. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's ibug-mac-training at groups.io.
Oh, okay. That's it. All right.
Yeah. That's for our class. Yep.
All right.
Yep, and we only have, so next week is our Mail Part 2 lesson, and then the following week is Mac and Talk, and that will conclude, the lessons and the class meetings, except for whatever Herbie ends up doing with the review sessions. So
There's no Mac class part 2, I assume.
there is not, but there's Macintalk and MacBuzz. And there's the
Okay.
Macintalk discussion email list. So, yep. All right. Last call for questions. Okay. Well, with that being said, then enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you on Thursday. Have a
Thank you
good
so
night.
much.